Hello, welcome to Beth Roars, where we look at your favourite singers to find out what makes them them. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars and I hold loads of votes on my Instagram, so you guys can vote on who I react to. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can book a singing lesson from me. And last but not least, please do head over to my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can get some more exclusive content. You can get early access to my podcast, and you can also find out a little bit more about my scholarship fund for aspiring artists. I mean, this one's a classic. It's so rare to hear an amazing baritone voice in rock, and I keep on reacting to them because I love giving the baritones a bit of love, because it's all about the tenors sometimes, and it's really cool those high notes that all the tenors can do, but sometimes it's just nice to hear that warmth. And what's kind of evening it out and giving you that top end of sound is that they are singing in octaves, so you do have the higher tenor range sitting above there, just floating above there, but that heaviness that goes with the baritone voice is really lovely. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there. What's really interesting is, in some ways, it sounds like he's making a really big space. So, you can find a bit of a warmer sound like him by doing a woo, like a big Yogi Bear. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. So that space that you make in your mouth if you spoke like this, if you put that into singing, oh, personal, instead of, oh, personal, Jesus, oh, personal, play around with those tones. Now, I don't think he's actually forcing his larynx down or making a bigger space particularly. I think that he probably just has a really big vocal tract, which gives him that really deep sound and a large larynx. Interesting. Woo! Just that beat is so like. I love how he's really sibilant on stuff. He's going into this. Sometimes it's nice to keep those really precise, but he's going between precise consonants and s at the ends of things. It's kind of creepy, and I mean, it's quite like early 90s, 80s. If you think of Marilyn Manson, he does a lot of that sort of stuff as well. And then it's precise here. Considering it's so low, that's difficult. Give open to an ah. Jesus. Someone. I love how you have these octaves in this. You can hear. It's interesting as well what I was saying about that woo sort of place. You can hear his English accent a little bit in where he's placing it. in that he is placing it a little bit further back. A lot of British people place things a bit further back than if you were American or even Scottish. We place things a little bit more in our faces here. I'm over exaggerating, but this is where my accent or where my American accent would be, and if you were more British would generally hear. Not for everyone, but for a lot of people. Yeah! Now, Dave here was meant to be a bit of a bad boy growing up. Oh, ow! He was wild, he stole cars. Those little edges of distortion are really cool as well, just adding that grit in, just in small amounts, but it's been quite clean up till now. I think it's so interesting because he just was a wild child, and you can see he's the sort of person that just like lives and breathes life. He's just like, I'm gonna go and joyride, I'm gonna do this. You can feel that in the music and the way he performs. It's so nice that he's now doing it in a way that gives to other people. I. Instead of I, it's not as wide, I. I love the effects they use so you get that slide into the vocal. One thing that's really lovely about this is that it is so simple that everyone could sing along. It's an anthem, and the great thing about this is really clever in that it doesn't really work without the audience singing. It's like a song for the audience. It's so that you can be involved, you can be part of making the music, and I think that's really, really clever writing. Without the audience, it feels a little bare, or without the production values, but with the audience there, it just feels like this brilliant anthem. You can see everyone there like, yes, I know all the words. Again, the simplicity. It's just mad, isn't it? Like, there's not a big guitar solo or anything. It's just this driving bass and then these little stabs, and everyone's like, "Wah! Stab! Here's this one sound. Here's a really simple vocal." But sometimes you don't need anything fancy. Just that is like, when you've got something that's so plain, so simple, so driving, these little moments that jump out are like, wow. It's really clever, actually. Love the backing vocalist giving it her clip. Yeah, see what I mean? The audience make this. Wow, that must be so cool to be on stage with that. It's like quite spiritual in a way, isn't it? That you could just be like involved in this music, like, woo! Like hypnotic. And he's just having the best time ever. Wow. It's so fascinating that something so simple is just so engaging, and each tiny little nuance just means something massive in the context of this. Whereas if you were watching Beyonce, because there's so much going on, you don't really notice these tiny things. But there, you're like, that is important. This tiny little thing. The combination of the driving beat and his warm voice with the layers of the high vocal on top. It's so cool. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.